Hello, everybody. Average Gamer here, and in today's episode of Let's Talk, we're going to talk about account boosting. Now, some people I've noticed in a couple of my matches that people are doing this. I'm not personally a fan of it. I don't like it. This mostly happens, though, I will admit. Not as much in MechWarrior Online, but it definitely happens way more in like World of Tanks, Armored Warfare, World of Warcraft, all those games. But I have noticed it slowly creeping into MechWarrior Online, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. That means that the game's becoming more popular, and these services are actually able to do it, and B, the game is actually getting more popular. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it's double-edged sword, right? The game itself gets more popular, but then services like this become available. Now, the way account boosting used to work is basically you'd pay a website, third-party website, X amount of dollars, and what they would basically do is they would basically log into your account for you via a bot, and the bot would just charge the enemy. So you'd see like that, that Atlas on your team or Firestarter or whatever, some sort of mech would charge towards the enemy, do its 60 or 70 damage, and then log out. And that's it. I noticed usually they use the slower mechs because that way they're in the match longer. But they would do it over and over and over again. You notice, like on some nights, certain mechs or whatever, certain players on your team, the entire night, whenever you drop with them, they don't actually do anything. Sometimes what they'll do is they won't be AFK, but the mech will move to a certain location on the map, and then move to a different location on the map and stay active. You'll notice a lot of them are actually using LRM boats now, because that way the mech itself is still in the game, and it's going to be constantly doing stuff. Usually it's running an LRM 20 or 30, and it's just running all 5s or 10s or whatever. And it sits there and just rains missiles at just about anything it can see. Whether it can, as long as it can get a lock on it real quick, it will fire the missiles at it. And that's all the bot would do. It would move to location A on the map and sit there and just fire missiles. And the only way you could tell it was a bot or not is if a light or, say, a medium or even an assault, to be honest with you, got behind it, it would start shooting it. It would still just sit there and just fire. It wouldn't do anything. It wouldn't try to defend itself. It would just sit there firing the missiles. And then if the person ran in front of it, and then it got detected on the map, it would then turn to them and start firing the missiles within minimum range, meaning the missiles aren't doing any damage. So that's how you could always tell that there was a bot. Usually, like I said, they were running either Atlases or bigger mechs that were really slow, or running LRM boats that were also at the same time slow and firing off missiles. So you can kind of tell when there was bots on your team. That's one. That's pretty much how it used to be. And like I said, the other one was fire starters and light mechs. Usually it was always the trial mechs would run forward, and basically they would do like a little bit of damage. They'd pop a UAV and an RD strike on themselves, and do a lot of damage with the RD strike. Whatever they were shooting, the UAV would go up and spot everybody, and they get a fair chunk of change. So now it's changed it up a little bit. So the way account boosting works now is basically you pay a service to a website, and they actually have people. So actual people take over your account now. And basically they charge you on an actual specific action and to do something. So it is wrong. I mean, at the same time, it makes sense. These are people that basically just don't want to spend time playing a something and doing something, and they just want to get that mech tomorrow. Like, you know what? Tomorrow I want the following mechs. They go to a certain website, pay a certain amount of dollars, and then they have, someone from that website say, okay, you'll have it by the following day, the following time, and they do it. Personally, not a fan. Overall, in my eyes, it ruins the fun. It gives you not that feeling that you've earned anything in the game. So now what you can do basically is you can pay someone, for this service, quote unquote, for a specific amount of C-bills or XP, right? So you can actually say, hey, listen, I want you to grind out for me, 30 million C-bills, 40 million C-bills. And they say, no problem. Here's the amount, and here's how long it'll take. And they'll do it. There's also the way where they, you can pay them to grind out a mech for you. So pay like, hey, here's the deal. I want to get the following mech. So I want to get the Bushwhacker X2. Say it's available for C-bills. I want to get the Bushwhacker X2, but I also want it completely mastered under the new, obviously, experience system. Because right now it's 3 mechs, right? So it'd actually be like, here, I want the following mech, the Atlas DDC, the S, and the 7 or whatever. I want them all mastered. So they'll say, no problem, it'll be this much, it'll take this long. Now, personally, not a fan of it. Because, you'll get it, right? And then it's like, okay, well, A, you don't know how to use the mech still. And B, you never really earned it. So, that's kind of retarded, right? That's the first part. Now, you also can pay them just to elite a mech. So you can actually say, okay, I have the following mechs, give them a list and say, I want you guys to elite these for me. They say, okay, and they'll tell you how much it'll cost. And they'll do it for you. Personally, yet again, not a fan. In my eyes, grinding, though tedious and can be boring, is part of the fun of the game, right? It's that whole thing where you play a mech, you grind up the XP, you grind up the C-bills, and you play and earn everything in the mech. It's part of the fun. It's part of the game, right? It's part of the experience. You learn that mech itself. You learn how to pilot it. You learn its little idiosyncrasies, the little changes, the little things here and there. And I think it's something that needs to be done. You need to grind, right? If you just pay and get a mech mastered and done, to me, it ruins the fun. That was not meant to rhyme, by the way. I did not mean to rhyme. Not to mean to rhyme. It could also ruin the game for you. I'm looking at a point form things. I wrote a note about this. Think about this. I've talked to people that do it in World of Tanks, and they've said that they've paid the $4 or $20 or $100 to get something. The minute they got it, they were like, sweet. Played for it for like one night, had fun with it. And then they're like, oh, okay, now what? Because they had it done. There was that goal. They wanted to get that Tiger 2. They wanted to get that, the King Tiger. They wanted to get, this Stug 3, the specific ship in World of Warships, a specific building class in World of Warcraft. And basically they paid someone to give it to them, so they got it. Now it's like, okay, woo. They're not having fun with it anymore. So, it ruins the fun for you yourself, right? And to be honest with you, whenever you get a mech, wow, it's weighing my head off my ceiling. Whenever you get a mech, like you buy the mech, right, with those hard-earned C-bills, you have the feeling of earning it. It's like, okay, I just earned 10 million C-bills. Sweet. Now what do I need to do to grind this thing? What do I need to do to this thing to make it better and whatever? And as you play it, and as you elite it, and as you master it, you get this feeling of, I earned this mech. I have it all mastered. I earned this thing. I earned the cooldowns. I earned the speed tweaks. I earned this. I earned that. And you feel as though you accomplished something. And paying someone $10, $15, $4, $100, whatever the prices are, basically for them to give it to you, it's kind of useless in my eyes. It kind of ruins things. A buddy of mine was talking about doing something like that, and I already told him I don't want anything to do with it. Basically, grinding for people and all that stuff. Not a fan. of it. I mean, like, yeah, you can probably make a lot of money from it, but you know, it's not worth it in my eyes. Definitely not worth it. So, anyways, thanks for watching, and thanks for putting up with me ranting now for the second day in a row. See you guys next time. See you on the battlefield. Bye-bye.